Welcome to a walkthrough video for task 1. This is the spinning sign task. So first things first, in our task description, we are given the task to design and build a slowly spinning sign with an on and an off switch. We've got our pseudocode right here, which is set up to run continuously, which means that we need to use a loop. And if you remember from the programming challenges, challenge 7 introduced the loop. Then we need to put in a bump switch that starts the motor, and then a bump switch that stops the motor. Okay, so let's come down here to task main. This is where all our code goes. Now, please notice in task main, there's certain things here. There's the word task main, the two words task main. There's and 2 parentheses. Please make sure you leave those alone, okay? If you do anything to those, it really ends up messing up the program. Also, we've got our opening curly brace and our closing curly brace. All our code needs to go in between these 2 braces. Do not delete these braces. If you delete these braces, your program won't work. So let's keep that in mind. All right, so first things first, we need to get our while loop. Now, to do that, we're going to come up to Control Structures, click on the little box that expands it, come down and click on the little Control Structures box again, and we're looking for while. Okay, so while condition body. So let's drag this out right underneath task main. And so what it gives us is while this condition is either true or not true, this happens. Okay, so we want to make it so it's true. So we're going to say while 1 equals, and we have to do 2 equal signs, 1, do this. And 1 always equals 1, so it will always be doing this. We're making an infinite loop so that it's always on. So in the body, this is where we're going to put our code. So first bit of code is when bump switch 1 is pressed. So collapse this. Let's go down to natural language, expand that, go down to until, and then until touch. So we're going to drag that out, and we're going to put that in here. We can go ahead and just get rid of this body word, okay? And then until touch. Now we have to name the bump switch. Now we've named it already, it's already set up for us in our motors and sensors setup. You notice we've already got our bump switches set up in digital port 1, digital port 2, bump switch 1, bump switch 2. We've already got our motor set up too, and we're calling it sign motor. Okay, there's only 3 things we're using for this build. So this particular bump switch is going to be called bump switch 1. So I'm just going to copy this up here. I could type it out, but I'm going to copy this. And then I'm going to come over here, and where it says sensor port, I'm going to highlight. And then I'm just going to right click and click paste. And what it did was it got rid of sensor port, and then it replaced it with this. And so that's the first bit of code we need. So when the bump switch 1 is pressed, this next thing will happen. What next thing? Well, let's go to movement. It will start the motor. So I'm going to drag that down. Okay, so I have to name the motor port and the speed. So the motor port is named sign motor. That's what it's called. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come down here and highlight motor port because that's what I want to get rid of. I want to replace that with what I just copied. And by highlighting it, I can do that. So now I'm going to right click. I'm going to click paste. And notice it got rid of what was there and replaced it with what I wanted to be there, which is the word sign motor in camel case. Now the speed. Now remember, there is a speed requirement or restriction, I should say. And if you remember, I said that the slowest speed you could go is quarter speed, which is 32. You can't just set the motor to go at 1, okay, to make it go slower. So the slowest your motor can go is 32. Okay, so next we need to add code for another bump switch so we can turn it off. So far we've got a loop starting things. So everything within these 2 brackets will run continuously. So when we touch bump switch 1, it'll start the motor. Now we want to be able to shut the motor off. So we're going to install another switch. Now, I'm just going to copy this command because the command is identical. Until touch bump switch 1. Copy that. I'm going to paste it down here. Okay. And I need to change one thing. Instead of saying bump switch 1, it's going to say bump switch 2. Okay. And then I'm going to have it stop the motor. when that's pressed. So I'm going to come to stop motor, drag that down right there. And motor port, I got to name it again. It is sine motor, so I'm just going to copy it right from here this time. I'm going to highlight what I want to replace, and then I'm going to right click on it and click paste. And then that got rid of it and replaced it with what I wanted. Okay, so there we go. We've got our infinite loop. While 1 equals 1, do this. When the bump switch 1 is pressed, it'll start the motor at 32. When bump switch 2 is pressed, it'll stop the motor. That's all you need to do for this particular task.